Well, Kevin Lazor just stopped by. Kevin is, of course, a gentleman we talk to quite frequently with CareerLink here in Indiana, and with veterans issues, and certainly with the Veterans Parsonage. And Kevin, when somebody writes to me or calls me and says, I'm coming in and I have something for you, the first thing I ask is it an arrest warrant? And the second thing is it something tasty that I can eat?
Correct.
You contacted me Friday, and you said it's neither one of those.
No, sir.
All right. So why are you here then?
Well, I wanted to pop in. As you know, as many listeners know too, the CareerLink has a mission to help veterans who are looking for work. So we have the disabled veterans outreach person. We also have the vet rep. So as my day-to-day job, that's part of what I'm here to say. CareerLink helps veterans as well. Mm-hmm. But, you know, in my other hats, working with the different veterans groups that I do, one that's particularly close to my heart is the Veterans Parsonage. But without people like you, Todd, the Veterans Parsonage does not succeed. We don't take any governmental funds or things like that, and it's all by donation. And we have specific outreach type things like the car show and like the sleep out. But it's people like you that support not only people like me, a veteran, but also those veterans that are in need. And so within that mind, we'd like to present to you the Veterans Parsonage Advisory Board in grateful appreciation of their contribution to the Veterans Parsonage and the veterans they serve, to Todd Marino and Indiana in the Morning Render Broadcasting. So Todd, on behalf of the Parsonage Board and the veterans that were served by that, I'd like to present that plaque to you.
Wow. This is so... I'm so honored and humbled by this. My goodness. I'll hold it up to the microphone for everybody.
Everybody to see.
Everybody
well, they can post it on
microphone.
Facebook at some point, I imagine.
Yeah,
but,
we'll do that. We'll even take my fingerprints off of it because I just marked it up. But that is so very, very nice of all of you with the Veterans Parsonage Advisory Board. And certainly I don't deserve something like this. But goodness.
But part of the mission is always giving back. Veterans giving back to veterans. Mm-hmm. You give back to our community in so many ways, but the veterans is one of them. And throughout the year, we'll give 4 awards to folks. And if you may, I
yes,
CMB Bank will receive one, the Indiana Moose and Moose Riders, and then this year the Indiana Elks as well. So we have 4 groups that we chose. You were the first inductees of that, and we'll do the ceremonies for them in their individual times. But specifically to you, thank you again for your, you allow us to come in for the Veterans Advisory Group and things like that. So you do deserve it, whether you're humble and taken back, but we just appreciate what you've done to help get veterans issues out there, and the Parsonage is one of them as well.
So that's beautiful. It's a beautiful award. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tom.
My goodness. So while we have you here.
Okay, now I'm in trouble.
No, you're not in trouble, but your being here does give us an opportunity to maybe reintroduce people to the Veterans Parsonage who might not know what it is, where it is, what it does, and how they can help.
Okay, sure. Well, just short, brief history. Pastor Kurt Anderson likes history, and he is also the chaplain at SCI Pine Grove. So when he took the position at the Indiana Church of the Brethren, they didn't need the parsonage. So the church, he talked to the church, and given the history of how veterans served and a heart for veterans, and a lot of the folks that attend Indiana Church of the Brethren also have a heart for veterans, and some of them are actually our veterans. Yeah. They decided to allow us to use the parsonage as a shelter for veterans. Kurt also works with Mike Weaver, who we know in the past has been the lead for Team Red, White, and Blue. Mm-hmm. He pulled me in on the job side, and we also have a corrections officer and some other the folks that work at SCI Pine Grove. And he pulled an advisory board. We don't get any pay for this. It's just completely volunteer time. A veteran that's in need, that doesn't have housing, can stay there from 6 to 9 months. They don't pay any rent. They don't pay any utilities, any of those things. We're completely driven by community donations. So we do, Mike and our group committed to the church that we would try to raise $6,000 to $7,000 per year for operational costs, whether that be upkeep, things like that. We also had a female veteran, so we brought Kristen Squires on board, and she helps with she's an RWB member and helped with the stocking project, so it was a natural fit in case we had a female veteran that needed housing. She could help with any of the women's issues that might come up, which the veteran may not feel comfortable talking to the guys about. We wanted to bring a female on board. So, then we get them in contact with any of the services they may need with the goal in mind to eventually give back into the community and have their own housing, things like that. And that might be the VA. It might be Soldier On, any of the veterans providers that belong to the Veterans Providers Group with Diane and all those things. So, but like I said, it's completely, we don't go for any governmental money. There's lots of folks that give donations, both communities and individuals. You can write a check out to the Veterans Parsonage. If you hear that we're doing the sleep out and freezing out there, come on out and give a donation. Sure. We're going to do the car show this year. Chris Calhoun reached out to me, and we're going to be part of another event that's coming up, and you'll hear more about that. I don't know if I'm officially allowed to announce it yet, but it's going to hopefully be out at the airport. So a lot of good things. We do a lot of good work. Again, voluntary board. The only thing, there's two things that the parsonage boards get from being on the board itself. Is one, if we have an event or we do special feeding, we get some food every once in a while. And the other thing is we did get shirts so that when we do special events, we can they know that we're from the parsonage. But other than that, they don't have to pay for anything. It's to get them reacclimated back into the community and give back to other veterans.
And parsonage board members, there is a third thing. You get extra jobs to do.
Extra work. Well, that's part of the territory. There's lots of folks in town, whether it be veterans or not, that wear other hats, and you've got things like the Miracle League and things like that all reach out to specific populations. But for me and the board members, veterans is where it's at. And we can't thank Pastor Kurt enough, and also the congregation at the Church of the Brethren for allowing us to do what we do. They kind of let us do our thing and take care of things, and don't, they say, how's it going? Do the veterans need anything? And just lots of local support. I could spend another hour and a half listing all those folks that have contributed it. But today it's about you and your contribution, Todd. So thank you very much on behalf of the board, and thank the Indiana community for supporting it so much.
Well, my thanks again to you, and it really is. I don't know what to say. Really.
Wow.
It's one of those
Mark
times.
This down on September 16th, 2019. We've actually stumped Todd Marino. But thanks again, Todd. We appreciate it.
Kevin, thank you so much. Please take my thanks back to the board.
I sure will.
And my best wishes to everybody with the parsonage. And people, again, you can give to this anytime. You don't have to wait for an event. You can give anytime. And Kevin, what is there an address they write to, or just direct it to you at CareerLink? Or what should they do?
If you're going to make it specifically for the parsonage, I would just write to the church and put Veterans Parsonage on the envelope. They have a separate account that goes to it. And right now, I don't have my cell phone on me. It's McKnight Road, right across from Rustic Lodge. But if you Google Indiana Church of the Brethren, you can get the address.
Do it. Yeah. That'll do it. Beautiful. Kevin, thank you again so very, very much.
Again, thanks, Todd, for everything you do.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM.